Hi guys, Natasha Tessier here with Dwell Realty and Design. Welcome to my channel. I'd love for you to hit the subscribe button if you want to know anything and everything about the city of Houston. Today, I'm going to talk to you about 10 things to consider when moving to Texas. Hi there, I'm Natasha Tessier. I am the owner of Dwell Realty and Design Group. We have a whole real estate team and we also have a design team that was published in Southern Living, so we can help you with new construction or remodeling or anything of the sort. I used to personally be a designer myself, so I know a lot about interior design and all that good stuff. Today, I wanted to talk to you about 10 things I want you to consider when moving to Texas. Okay, the very first thing I want you to consider is property taxes. So if you are not familiar with Texas, we do not have a state income tax, okay? So it's zero. I think there's 9 states, but don't quote me on that, that have zero state income tax. So a lot of people come here and they get really concerned about the property taxes because they see, 2.4 or 2.5. I am gonna do a property tax video for you later on, and I'm gonna go into detail about purchasing 3 different houses at 3 different incomes and talk to you about you still are ahead once you calculate that you aren't paying your state income tax. So I'll go into it, but one thing to be aware of is the property taxes. Now, new communities are gonna have a higher property tax because they are still paying off the infrastructure. So most of them have a MUD, which is a municipal utility district, and they're paying off that infrastructure to get things like water and sewage and all that to the community. That tax rate goes down over time, but it takes time. So do not buy in a neighborhood thinking, oh, I'm gonna save taxes in a year. It takes a lot longer to pay off that infrastructure and for that to go down. But that's why you'll see in older neighborhoods that the taxes are a lot lower. If tax is a big deal to you, the Woodlands has very low tax. Out in Montgomery, you can get all the way down to 1.8, 1.79. That's the lowest I've seen. So that's something to think about if property taxes are important to you. If and one way to think about it is if you're buying, let's say a $500,000 house, and the difference is, let's just say 2.5 to 3.5, okay, that's $5,000 over the year in taxes. So that's one way, if it's only half a percentage, then it's $2,500 over the year. So just a way to keep things in perspective. It's not a deal breaker, but something to look at when you're moving here. Okay, the second thing I'm gonna talk to you about is the weather. Texas is hot. It doesn't matter if you're in San Antonio. I've lived there. I've lived in Houston most of my life. I've been to Dallas plenty. Texas is hot. Yes, Houston is more humid. We live by the Gulf, so if you want to be near the ocean, then you have more humidity. I do have clients, I just have some clients that moved here from Fresno, and they went through the summer here. They didn't think it was as hot as everybody says it is. I think it's hot, but I'm used to it. It doesn't really bother me. However, when it's hot, we just hang out in the pool. Most people have either their own pool or there's tons of neighborhoods with pools, or, we go play on Lake Conroe, or we go down to Galveston, or we go to a water park. It's a little bit different than being up north where it snows for 4 months and it's really hard to get outside. We're still outside, it's just hot. Of course, there's AC everywhere, so you kind of get used to in the summers just walking into, air conditioning. Number 3, as a state, we are overall conservative. I've told you this before, I'm not gonna talk politics on my channel, especially now with how heated everything is. A lot of people are asking me like, oh my gosh, is Texas gonna turn blue and don't bring your politics and all that stuff? I will say that 100% of the clients reaching out to me right now to move to this area are asking for a conservative red area and are wanting to get away from all that. Are there blue areas? Yes. Houston's the largest city, 4th largest city in the country, and the, obviously largest city in the state. Dallas, all of our major cities tend to vote blue, but what keeps Texas red is the outskirts. So Montgomery County, if you are wanting conservative, Montgomery County is one of the most conservative, if not, I've been told, the most conservative county in the state of Texas. So, it's very, very red. If you kind of want a mixture, you might want to go Cypress, Woodlands, kind of that area. Or if you want super conservative, you want to go out to Montgomery area. So just keep that in mind. Again, I don't talk politics, but it is a red state. And as you can see by all the things that they're implementing, they are trying their best to continue to be red. Okay, the fourth thing I want you to be aware of are the bugs. Growing up here, I never really thought it was a big deal. My husband gets attacked by mosquitoes a lot. I don't. One of my kids does, so I don't really spray for anything. There are mosquito, call them like systems that you can put outside your house, and those are supposed to help a lot. I do have the exterior of my home sprayed like twice a year just for, spiders or whatever. But I don't find it to be a huge deal. If you are moving into a master plan community and there is stagnant water, it's gonna be worse. You want flowing water, like a fountain or something to keep that water moving, so that's where the bugs become a problem, is where it's kind of stagnant water. So want to get used to bugs though. There are bugs. There are also roaches here, and a lot of people freak out over them. If you keep your house clean, and again, you have it treated once or twice a year, I probably see a roach once a year. It's not that big a deal, but there are roaches and there are spiders and, mosquitoes and those things. So be aware of the bugs. Okay, number 5 is affordability. That has gone up a little bit with the growth in the past 2 years, but it is still extremely affordable compared to, say, California, Oregon, Illinois, New York. That's where a lot of my clients are coming from. It is extremely affordable. I mean, I just moved an older couple into a $320,000 1-year-old house in a really great neighborhood that's a master plan community with walking paths and pools and dog parks and everything, with anything you'd need in the master plan community. So you could still get a really nice house for $300,000, $350,000. Under 200 is becoming really hard. Even in the 200s are very competitive right now, but they're still out there. I mean, I have a 285 under contract right now in Cypress right now. And, it's a great house. One owner, has a brand new roof, has a 5-year-old AC. So you can still buy a house for under 300 here. Okay, so number 6, I'm gonna just talk about schools and their rankings. So in the big cities, those school districts do not rank well. Things like Houston ISD, those don't rank well. If schools are important to you, there are smaller school districts, like Spring Branch is a very highly rated school district just on the outside of Houston. As you go further out, Cy-Fair, Katy, Conroe, Montgomery, Magnolia, Tomball, there's a lot of great schools for you. But in that big city, like if you're inside the city, even in Dallas or Austin, most of those people, if schools are important to them, they're gonna go private. So keep that in mind, when you're looking in those areas. It's also not as affordable in the big city. I mean, you can't get a nice, safe area for $300,000 in the city of Houston, obviously. You have to go. When I was talking about the affordability, I was obviously talking about suburbs and further out, because you're not gonna get that in the big city. So that's number 6, is just school rankings. And then number 7 is it's legal to carry concealed weapons here. That freaks some people out. Doesn't freak me out. I grew up around it, and instead of like the reaction to that other cities have, like when a major disaster happens, like a hurricane, where there's, people stealing and all that, people just put up on their doors locked and loaded, and you kind of, leave everybody alone. It can also be a good thing. A year ago, there was a shooter in a church, and somebody, who had their concealed carry license took that shooter out. So it doesn't freak me out, but if guns scare you and that's not something that you like, you may not want to move to Texas, because almost everybody has a gun here and just kind of watches out for their neighbor. And as far as that concealed carry, I don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure my husband said something like they just passed a law where you don't even have to have that. If you know that, comment below, because I should know that, but I don't carry a gun around. My husband wants me to when I show houses, but I can't do it. But I've been around ranches, guns. I've hunted, all that stuff. So guns don't scare me. But if they do scare you and that's a big deal to you, then Texas may not be the place for you, because you will see guns everywhere. Not everywhere, but you will see people, carrying them or having them in their truck or whatever. Okay, so diversity. I've talked about this before on other videos. Houston has been ranked over and over for being diverse. Dallas is diverse. All the big cities are extremely, extremely diverse, which I think is a great thing. A lot of my clients talk about how welcoming everybody is here. So, I don't think it matters, where you're from. People love to get to know other people and are very, very friendly. I just moved a family into a house in Montgomery, and as we were walking in to do the final walkthrough, 2 families came down and were like, oh, hey, welcome here. So it's just a very friendly state. People will bring you cookies and do all sorts of stuff. So it's a very friendly state and warm and welcoming, but also very diverse, especially in the big cities. Next thing, number 9, is going to be the style of home. So a lot of our homes are brick or stone. So if you're kind of out in the hill country or out a little bit more, you might find that kind of more rustic stone feel. Or in the big neighborhoods like Wood Forest and those different places, in the Woodlands, you're going to find a lot of brick. So that's just kind of the style here. It's not as much craftsman. I feel like the style's getting better. There are some more modern and updated styles coming. Obviously, with the farmhouse style coming through, that is starting to come out this way, or it has been kind of going for a few years. There is more modern and updated looks, but there's a lot of brick and a lot of things that look the same. We don't have basements here. We can put basements here, but they're very expensive to build because we're at sea level. And so in order to prevent that water, it's a big deal. So we don't have basements, but we do have a lot of upstairs with game rooms and landings and media rooms and all that stuff. So if you're used to basements, you're probably not going to find it here, but you can find a game room in a lot of the different houses. So that's the style of house that you're going to be looking at. And with that style, like I said, the whole, like white houses and things like that, it's starting to come out this way. It's been in the city of Houston. If you drive downtown Houston, it's very, very gorgeous homes. In the suburbs, it was a lot of like stone and, brick, and then it's kind of modernizing over time. So hope that helps. And then the last thing I'm going to talk to you about is it's common in the older homes here to have foundation repair. So now we're doing foundation, and we're doing like post-tension foundation with rebar in there, and it's kind of helping with the shifting. But with our soil, it is not uncommon to have foundation repair on older homes. So don't let that freak you out. What you want to make sure with your agent is that there is a lifetime transferable warranty with a reputable company that fixed that foundation. So whether they put like a pier in or a beam or whatever, but in the older homes, that is common because the soil kind of shifts. Now, only once have I had somebody back out because of a massive foundation repair, and it was kind of an add-on that they did and it was shifting too much. But I just want you to know that that is common to have. So 10 things to be aware of when moving to Texas. If you are looking to move here and you don't know where to start, I would love for you to reach out. I would love to do a Zoom with you. I have agents that I personally know in Dallas. I have agents that I know in Austin, New Braunfels, San Antonio, literally all over the state of Texas. If you say, hey, I want to move to Amarillo, I know so many agents in this state. I would love to refer you to them and get you connected with somebody who knows the area well. Obviously, I know Houston really, really well, and I love what I do here. I love to help people. It's really a passion of mine. So if you're looking in the Houston and surrounding areas, of course, I can help you with that. Either way, let's set up a Zoom and just try to talk about, what your goals are, what you're looking to do. Even if it's a year out, maybe we just set you up on a home search so you can kind of watch the market, and then we can kind of check back in with you every, month or so and see how you're doing. So the ways to reach me are my cell phone. You can text me below. If I don't reply, please text again. I'm extremely responsive. Sometimes if I'm on a phone call and the text comes through, I'll miss it very rarely. So if I don't reply, do it again. A lot of times something will go to spam or to an other box and I don't see it. So keep bugging me, but I'm really, really responsive to my clients. I'm actually about to hop on a Zoom with someone from Seattle to help them. So my cell phone, you can reach out to me on Instagram. I'm Houston Realtor Natasha. If you want to see home tours, I do a lot of those on my stories of different areas. If you can reach out to me on TikTok, I'm not on there very much. I'm trying to get going with that, but that's a little bit harder for me. And then I'm Natasha Tessier on Facebook, and Natasha Tessier at Gmail is an easy way to reach me. So if I can help you in any way moving to the state of Texas, I would be happy to, either myself or refer you to an agent that can help you and get you relocated. I would be happy to, and I hope that this helped. I hope you guys have a blessed day.